the GOAT, the champion, Mr. Steal Your Grandma's Diapers after a long night of bingo, has done it once again. On YouTube, you're going to see people try to call the bottom. You're going to see people say the rally is here. The rally is about to happen. We're going to bounce from here. We're going to head higher from here. You're going to see people on Twitter say it. You're going to see people on Reddit say it. And I'm here to tell you that we are not done. We are going to drop a lot more. It's going to get a lot worse. It's going to get hotter than a Diddy party with preheated baby oil. Before we get started, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. So first things first, we're going to start with the Discord because we went 10-0 for the week. Everybody give yourself a round of applause if you profited this week in the Discord. Absolutely killed it today. We took profit on our IWM puts. We jumped into IWM, what was it? Well, actually we jumped into SOXX puts, 192 strike. Feel free to check out where SOXX is right now. We got in at 4.80, took profit at actually 6.00. I got filled at 6.00. Congratulations to Discord members on that. We also got into IWM puts yesterday. We got into 204 puts at 2.64. We took profit at around, I want to say 3. We actually trend profit at 3.00, and then I officially took profit at 3.40. You are missing out. We went 10-0 for the week. We're going to do it all over again next week. We are currently on a winning streak in the Discord, so you got all weekend to decide if you want to join. Winners tab, I mean, everybody's going crazy in a winners tab. I mean, it's just nonstop action here. Okay. This guy made an absolute bag. He is new to the Discord. He's fairly new to the Discord. Absolute bag in the Discord. Went crazy. This guy right here, he made 1,200 today on, what was that actually? SPY puts. I mean, 0DTE puts, by the way, and he's new as well. He asks questions all the time. He joined the Discord, and he asked as many questions as he could, and he wanted to learn, and I tried my best to answer all of them. Some of them were a little questionable, but you know, we got through it. But regardless, absolutely been killing it. He's been going on a rampage. She made 2,300 this week within the Discord, so congratulations to you as well. This guy right here, he made 600 today. I mean, it just keeps going, guys. This guy right here, what was this? I mean, absolute bag, Tesla. I mean, it just keeps going, okay? It just keeps going, guys. I mean, the proof is here. So you're going to have haters come in the comments, making up these stories, making up these lies, being mad and whatnot. But at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. This is me right here showing my gains for today. You know, I let the Discord talk for me. Okay, that's what I do. I let the Discord talk for me. So let's get into the charts. And do I think the bottom is in? I do not. Okay, simple as that. We're going to get straight to the point. I do not think the bottom is in. In our last video, we talked about the SPY daily time frame. We're going to the daily time frame here. And one thing I mentioned to you guys was this massive fair value gap that leads all the way to 530. Do I think we're heading to 530? I think it's very much possible. But of course, we have to respect the levels. First, what was our key level in the last video? 564. What happens when we break below 564? You open up the floodgates to 550s. Crazy enough, we're in the 550s. Your key level here on the SPY, the market is still open, by the way, while I'm doing this, but your key level here on the SPY is 555. After that, you are very illiquid. You're already in a liquid territory, but you are even more illiquid all the way back down to 550. You give up 549, floodgates open towards the 540s, the low 540s, all right? But ultimately, I think the SPY is trying to mitigate this fair value gap, or at least as much of this fair value gap as it can. Let's go back to the daily time frame, and we can head as low as 530s. Okay, 530s. Now, one thing we do know, what do we know about Fridays and Mondays? Usually what happens on Fridays continues on Monday. What does that mean? If Friday ends bearish, typically Mondays continues the bearish momentum. If Fridays end bullish, you get the idea. Monday continues that bullish momentum. So I do expect Monday to continue this drop. Now, another thing we need to keep in mind is typically when the market makes a huge move, whether it's to the downside or to the upside, you do tend to get some type of cool down phase the following day. Now, we do have big news on April 2nd, so don't be surprised that we don't immediately start dropping on Monday. We might just consolidate, if anything. Maybe we start consolidating towards the downside, or we just see a nice little maybe dead cat bounce back towards the upside before continuing that move back towards the downside. Again, I don't think the bottom is in. I've let this be known multiple videos that I do not think the bottom is in. I think we're going to see a lot more downside. As far as your key levels here, it goes without saying, 564 still remains an important level when it comes to the SPY. So if we do bounce, which I'm not really counting on, I'm looking at a move back towards at least at minimum 559. Highest I'm looking at is 564. So we can either do this, head further down, or we can do this and head further down. Another thing, quant data. Okay, quant data. Yes, be mad about it. We're going to go over quant data every chance we get. We go back to March 24th. I showed you guys this in another video, right? March 24th. What happened on March 24th? Institutions loaded up 546 puts on the SPY. They were loaded up at 574. This was when SPY was at 574. These guys are making an absolute bag right now. They are on a yacht and they are getting twerked on as we speak. Absolute killing. They jumped into 570, well, not 574, 546 puts. Look where the SPY is. And this was when the SPY was at 574, guys. All right, so it's crazy. A few days ago, people were saying quant data doesn't work. Or I was just trying to get referrals and everything. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Simple as that. So that's what we're looking at when it comes to the SPY. As far as upside, I'm not even looking at upside. I'm not even thinking about upside at this point. Again, like I said in the last video, what incentive do you have to be bullish? Most people that try to call me a perma bear, they can't even give me three reasons to be bullish right now. They just can't, right? They can't. And even if they could, I can give them 5 reasons to be bearish right now. Simple as that. So that's what we're looking at when it comes to the SPY. Triple Qs. You broke below 480, 479 was your dark pool level. It was GG's after that. Okay. You broke below these bear flags across the board. I showed you guys that there were bear flags all over the place. Not much to go over here. 468 is your key level. You break below 468, you get very illiquid towards 465, 466 range. Lowest I think the triple Qs can go is the 450s. Not 450 as a target, but the 450s. Okay, so somewhere around where these guys are, which is actually at 450, but you get what I'm trying to say here. All right, so about 450, 455, that's where I think the triple Qs is trying to go. All right, simple as that. Again, I got nothing for the upside right now. Best case scenario, if you're bullish, you may get a retest back towards the upside here. You may see a retest towards maybe 478, if anything, 480 all over again. But ultimately, I think you're going to see a lot more downside when it comes to the triple Qs. That's what we're looking at when it comes to the SPY and the triple Qs. IWM. Gave you guys the keys to the city on this one. You broke below this rising wedge. I told you guys that we were jumping into a play on this. We took profit on this. Congratulations to Discord members on this. I think IWM is going to head towards the low 190s. Right now, your first target is 198. Okay, 198. As long as you stay below 200, you're looking at a move towards 198, right where these guys are. Simple as that. You could get a bounce from here, but ultimately I think that bounce is going to be short-lived and you're going to continue to head further down. And again, I'm looking at the low 190s for IWM. Simple as that. All right, so let's get into some stocks real quick, and then of course we're going to talk about semiconductor ETFs. Let's actually knock that out now. SOXX. I told you guys about SOXX. We go to the daily time frame here. SOXX broke below. Let's get rid of this, whatever this is. SOXX broke below this rising wedge pattern. It broke below this trend. I think SOXX, like I said in the last video, is heading towards 183, which is at the bottom of this trend right here. You bounced here, you bounced here. That is where I think SOXX is heading, and then you possibly get a bounce from there. Pretty simple. Okay, pretty simple stuff. You guys see I'm breezing past this because it's really easy. All right, SMH. You're looking at a falling wedge on SMH. That is a good sign, right? But ultimately, I told you guys 215 was one of my targets. It looks like this thing wants to head a lot lower. You're looking at a move towards 204. Lowest I'm looking at is 200, right at the bottom of this falling wedge. This could be a signal of a bottom. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, that's all I got for SMH. I don't see any signs of upside right now. Okay, you may get a retest of 217, 218, but ultimately I think this thing is going to head further down, and then we'll have to see what happens from there. With that being said, of course we have to talk about Nvidia. I told you guys, Nvidia 100 is my target. It still remains my target. I'm going to keep saying it until it happens. It doesn't matter, or at least until Nvidia proves me wrong and gets back above 125, which at this point I don't even think is on the table right now. Nvidia, you're looking at a massive rising wedge pattern. The short-term measured move for this was 100. Again, It's going to be a rough journey down when it comes to Nvidia. As you guys can see, the market is tanking, but Nvidia is taking its precious time. I told you guys 110 is your key level. You're currently below that level. You're looking at a move towards 107, 105. Your ultimate level of all levels, the final boss of all levels, is 103. You break below 103, you open up the floodgates to 90s, the low 90s, 92, 94, somewhere around that range. You do not want to see that happen if you are bullish on Nvidia. I mean, I don't know what else to say here. You got a death cross. You got a death cross. You broke below the symmetrical triangle. You're below this massive rising wedge. There's no reason to be bullish on this thing. It just wasn't. Okay, you keep creating lower highs. What more could you possibly want? All right. Again, no reason to be bullish. No reason to be calling a bottom, especially before April 2nd. All right. That's what I got for Nvidia. Tesla. I gave you guys the keys to the city on this play as well. In the last video, I told you guys about this gravestone doji pattern. It's a very bearish pattern. This guy right here, and look what happened. Tesla takes a dump on your face. All right, simple as that. You created not only a hangman pattern off the 200 MA, you created an evening star pattern off the 200 MA, you created a gravestone doji pattern off the 200 MA. You look back on your charts, how often do you see a gravestone doji pattern? You're probably not going to see 3 of them. Okay, simple as that. When you see these patterns on the daily time frame, you take profit and you run. So I'm hoping that no one got trapped in this, because this was just evil. Okay, evil. Forming off the 200 MA, yes, you absolutely need to take puts or look to take puts here. And that's exactly what we did in the Discord. We took puts on Tesla. Right now we are in 250 puts on Tesla for, I believe, next week, expiration next week, or is it April 17th? I think it's next week. Yeah, April 4th. Yeah, so that's what we're looking at for Tesla. One thing I told you guys about Tesla, not only was that gravestone doji pattern in play, but you're breaking below 270. Not only are you below 270, but you're below 266. 266 is your dark pool level. All right, so let's actually map it out real quick. Okay, that I just messed that up. All right, so let's map it out. So 266, put this on your charts. This is your dark pool level, guys. Very important level. Tesla has rejected this multiple times. You go to the 2-hour time frame and you see that Tesla is just dojing, rejecting, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it, right below this level. So 266 and 270 are your key levels. As long as you stay below those levels, Tesla is bearish. I think Tesla is going to head towards about 256, right where this gap fill is, right about here, right. So around 250, where did I get 256 from? 254, 255 psych level, and then your gap fill is at all the way at 249. That's exactly where I think Tesla is heading. I think that's what's going to happen. I got nothing else for Tesla as far as upside. I mean, really hard to bet against 3 bearish patterns, like 3 rare bearish patterns. Really hard to bet against that. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at when it comes to Tesla. Apple. Told you guys, I mean, daily time frame Apple, you have this massive head and shoulders pattern. Let's map it out for those who are new to the channel. Shoulder here, head here, shoulder here. All right, your neckline 219. I told you guys about 219. We are currently below 219. Institutions loaded up 210 puts heading into next week. We'll see what happens with that, but as long as you're below 219, you are bearish on Apple, and you can head as low as 210. Okay, 210. Not only did I tell you guys about 219, but I also told you about this head and shoulders neckline. I told you guys, you break back below this thing, pack your bags. You are going to a piñata party. It ain't candy in that piñata, buddy. All right, you're about to get cooked. Okay, so rejection, bounce here, bounce here. You're breaking below the head and shoulders neckline. You actually close below the head and shoulders neckline on a 2-hour time frame, or at least you're looking for a close here. I'm pretty sure it's going to close. You're filling this gap, or you're somewhat filling this gap at around 217.9. So we'll see what happens there. But ultimately, I think this is the time where Apple is going to start dropping, and this is another reason why I think the drop in the market is not quite over. I think Apple is going to start dropping, and it's going to start taking the market with it. You guys let me know what you think about Apple in the comments below, but I've been bearish on this thing since, I don't know, January. So yeah, I got nothing else for Apple here. Pretty bearish on it, especially if you stay below 219. You close below 219 at close, which is right like 10 minutes from now. Yeah, you're looking pretty bearish heading into next week. So that's what I'm looking at for Apple. Microsoft. I talked about Microsoft a while ago. I told you guys on a daily time frame, historically, when Microsoft is below the 200 MA, that is signs, or it stays below the 200 MA. I should correct that. Not only do you have a death cross, but when Microsoft stays below the 200 MA, That is signs of a market correction about to happen or a crash. And look what happened. You stayed below it for a very long time. And where are we now? Correction, maybe a crash. All right, crashes are 20% drops, but regardless, it's not looking good. As long as Microsoft stays below the 200 MA, it can get bad. This was another reason why I ended up being bearish in the first place. Historical data, guys. Historical data. A lot of you say I'm a perma bear. Just tells me that you guys don't even pay attention to historical data, or you just have you just, I don't know, you just want the market to keep going up, 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 up. Which I don't blame you. I don't blame you if you want the market to keep going up, but you got to be realistic sometimes. A drop is bound to happen in the market sometimes. It's just part of the game. It's part of reality. It is what it is. Okay, so hopefully you were able to profit off of this drop somewhere on this drop, but ultimately, again, I don't think the bottom is in. I don't even think we're close to the bottom just yet. Someone asked me, do I think 540 on the SPY is the bottom? I don't think so. I mean, I don't have a reason to think that right now, especially prior to April 2nd. Like I said, there's no reason to call a bottom prior to April 2nd. There's just no reason. There's no incentive to do that, right? Again, we go back to the SPY, guys. Like, what about this tells you there's a bottom? You have a bear flag, right? You have a double top here, top here, top here. Neckline was at 575. We saw exactly what happened at 575. What did we do? We retested, we rejected, we formed the bear flag, we broke below the bear flag, we're below the 200 MA. What about this tells you that the bottom is in, right? You're gonna have these YouTubers, you're gonna have people on Twitter, whoever you follow, they're gonna try to convince you that the bottom is in. But all you have to do, all right, let's get rid of everything. Let's just look at pure price action, right? These guys are calling for a bottom. You look to the left, right here and right here. It's easy work. It's easy work. Why are you calling for a bottom while we're in this area? Why? That makes literally no sense. Why are you calling for a bottom below the 200 MA? Makes no sense. Why are you calling for a bottom prior to April 2nd? Makes no sense, right? So we gotta pay attention to things, right? We gotta sometimes put our bias to the side, and even I have a hard time doing this sometimes, but sometimes you have to put your bias to the side and just recognize where the market is. There's no incentive for us to be bullish right now. It's just not, right? So that's just, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just wrong, whatever the case may be. But regardless, there's just, again, all the signs point to downside, guys. All the signs. You have death crosses everywhere, you have bear flags everywhere. There's no reason to be bullish. All right, we look at the VIX. I mean, clean. I told you guys about the VIX, right? I pointed out in the Discord that the VIX is forming a cup and handle here. You had your cup, handle, GG's. Put the controller away, uninstall the game. You just got pooped on. All right, simple as that. So VIX, I think it looks like it's heading towards this gap fill at 24. So right about here, there's a gap up here at around 24. Highest I'm looking at is about 25. I don't think the VIX is even close to being done pumping to the upside. Simple as that, guys. All right, that's what I'm looking at when it comes to the VIX. All right, and then last but not least, I want to look at Meta. Yeah. So you go to the daily time frame. Meta is at the 200 MA. This thing breaks below the 200 MA. You open up the floodgates to 530s. Okay, it breaks and holds below the 200 MA. GG's. Pack your bags, buddy. You're cooked. Sell the house. Sell somebody. All right, the house might not even be worth anything after this. You're looking at a move all the way to the 530s on Meta. All right, simple as that. So I mean, if you do get a bounce, I guess you can bounce back towards 600, about 600, 610. That is a key level here. It's actually right here at like 593, if anything, because Meta is extremely volatile, right? So you'll be pretty much bouncing off these guys right here, major pause. But regardless, you're looking at these guys in this area right here. So I'm gonna get rid of this so we can like focus in. But rejection here, rejection here, rejection here. So you're looking at a possible retest of 605, 600. Ultimately, I'm not seeing it just yet. You are at the 200 MA. Very much possible you bounce off of that. But again, I mean, again, there's no reason to be bullish. Okay, simple as that. So hopefully you guys got something out of this. Okay. I don't know what else to tell you. You know, Me being a so-called perma bear is making us money in the Discord. Okay, it's doing us great in here. So you can keep fighting this trend all you want, and you can keep following YouTubers that's fighting this trend all you want, but at the end of the day, they are losing you money. Okay, and that's not me hating or me being mad at them or anything, but I'm here to help you guys out, and I'm here to tell you guys again, there's no reason for people to be calling for a bottom. There's no, I don't see it anywhere. There nowhere should we be looking for a bottom right now. And this is coming from a guy who calls tops. Like I call tops, right? So I'm not even, I don't mind people calling it for a bottom, but it has to make sense, right? It has to make some type of sense. Calling for a bottom prior to April 2nd makes no sense. Calling for a bottom while there's death crosses on semiconductors makes no sense. Calling for a bottom while there's literal bear flags all over the place. I mean, how do you possibly miss these? They're in your face. How? They're so clean, like so clean. They're not even sloppy. Like they're clean. How do you call bottoms from this? How do you call bottoms from the 200 MA below the 200 MA? Right? So we have to use some logic here. Okay. I'm here for you guys, whether you like it or not, whether you like my analysis or not. I'm here to help you guys out. I gave you guys the keys to the city. I told you guys about Tesla. I told you this thing was going to drop. You had a gravestone doji here. I mean, it was easy money. I've been telling you guys I'm bearish on Apple since the beginning of the dinosaurs. I mean, what more do you want? I told you guys about AVGO. Told you guys this thing is heading to 150. It took a long time. It was annoying, but this thing is heading towards 150. Minimum I'm looking at is about 160 right now. Apple is breaking down. That's what we like to see in the Discord. Congratulations, members. We are in good profit on this play right now. So yeah, I mean, that's all I got. That's really all I got. So you guys let me know. Actually, let me go over Bitcoin real quick. Below 84K, Bitcoin's bearish. Simple as that. You broke back below the 200 MA. You broke below this rising wedge pattern on Bitcoin. I mean, you invalidated a bull flag. I mean, this bull flag was so clean, guys, and you absolutely destroyed it. Rising wedge broke below it. 70K is on the table. 73K is on the table when it comes to Bitcoin. My Lord, Apple is tanking. I love to see it. But other than that, Discord link is in the description below. You have all weekend to decide if you want to join. Like I said, we've been on a 10-0 win streak so far, and it looks like we're going to add two more to the play, to the streak actually. So that's Tesla and Apple. But you see it, you see the emojis all over the place. I can't make this stuff up, guys. All right, can't make this stuff up. So until the next video, traders, let me know what you think in the comments below. And until the next video, have a good one, guys.